The reason we're covering Bharat Maruti, or JBML, in this explainer today is entirely due to its technicals. The stock is pushing toward yearly highs right now, and our focus is strictly on the objective mechanics driving this incredible move from a traditional supplier to a high-execution engineering partner over the 2021 to 2026 period. We're going to map out the fundamental data, evaluate the operational telemetry, and, of course, weigh the strategic context that's driving this current valuation.
Okay, let's dive directly into the technical chart. You can see the stock breaking out to monthly and yearly highs, currently trading right around the 128 rupees mark. Notice that strong institutional accumulation trend. You can see it in the volume and how it's positioned above all the major exponential moving averages. But this technical strength isn't just happening in a vacuum. It's actually the market's real-time pricing mechanism responding to a massive shift in the underlying fundamentals, specifically as the company transitions out of a really heavy capital expenditure phase.
So what's the fundamental catalyst behind all this technical momentum? It's a massive Q4 FY26 earnings beat. We're looking at a staggering 333% annual net profit surge. When you're analyzing automotive ancillaries, a profit jump of this magnitude, it signals a total fundamental detachment from standard volume-based growth. It points directly to a structural change in operating leverage. Basically, it tells us that their multi-year heavy capex cycle has officially transitioned into a highly lucrative harvest phase.
Looking at the absolute growth numbers, profit after tax jumped dramatically from 31.8 crores in FY25 all the way up to 137.8 crores in FY26. This operational telemetry is heavily supported by exceptionally high utilization at their J5 plant. Plus, we've got to factor in the catalyst of a one-time 35.5 crore GST incentive accrual in Q4. Now, why does this matter? Well, this strong balance sheet pivot is absolutely critical because it allows JBML to fund their next major expansion, the Kharkhoda Phase 2 J7 plant, which was approved for 1.7 billion rupees with minimal incremental debt stress. And this brilliantly illustrates how that absolute profit surge correlates directly with some severe margin expansion. Historically, JBML operated under a really strict 7 to 9% margin ceiling. That makes this progression to a robust 11.87% EBITDA in Q4 FY26 incredibly significant. This wasn't an accident, right? It's the direct result of injecting high-margin body-in-white, or BIW, components for premium Maruti Suzuki SUVs, like the Brezza and Victoris, into their product mix. You combine that with internalizing high-end tooling through an increased stake in JBM Ogihara Die Tech, and boom, you completely break through that historical margin ceiling. I actually want to pause right here on this exact figure, 11.87%. Why does this specific number matter so much? Because in the context of sheet metal and auto ancillary manufacturing, expanding EBITDA margins to nearly 12% is literally the core metric driving this institutional accumulation. It's what separates a standard run-of-the-mill vendor from a true value-creating partner. That 12% margin is basically the defining signature of a complete structural re-rating over the June 2021 to June 2026 period. The fundamental state of the company here is undeniably strong. JBML is systematically shedding its cyclical tag. They're no longer just viewed as a shadow of the original equipment manufacturer. They're actively transforming into an integrated engineering partner that's dominating the northern and western India automotive hubs. To really grasp the scale of this, we need to contrast their history with the 2026 reality. They used to be a high-volume, low-margin supplier totally chained to standard internal combustion engines. Today, they are an independent value creator, laser-focused on premium SUVs and upcoming 2027 EV structural assemblies. Tracking this evolution reveals a very clear multi-year strategy. So the FY 2021 to 2023 consolidation phase was really a period of low growth and heavy debt-funded capex for the Sonepet and Gujarat projects. Then we hit the footprint phase in early 2025, which brought Kharkhoda Phase I commercial production online. That immediately scales into the February 2026 expansion approval for Phase 2, and that brings us exactly to May 2026, the harvest. The localized moat is secured, blockbuster Q4 results are delivered, and a final dividend is announced. Just reading this quote here, institutional investors are finally pricing in a harvest phase after 3 years of heavy capex. You see, the consensus among institutional investors right now is crystal clear. The multi-year capital expenditures are no longer dragging down the balance sheet. They're actually actively compounding revenue now. The heavy lifting of the capex cycle is completely done, and the market is dynamically pricing in this new reality. Now, what's really fascinating about this is the foundation of the harvest.
the physical operational moat at the Kharkhoda mega complex. By establishing a just-in-time or JIT proximity barrier, JBML is locked into a 10-lock unit multi-year runway with Maruti Suzuki. With MSIL operationalizing its second 250,000-unit facility on May 18, 2026, this JIT integration creates a highly localized logistical moat that competitors literally cannot easily breach. In this industry, proximity equals profitability. Looking ahead, this localized moat essentially serves as the launchpad for their next massive catalyst, the EV content multiplier. As the whole industry transitions from standard ICE chassis designs to complex 2027 EV chassis designs, the structural rigidity requirements increase significantly. This is a massive net positive transition for JBML, mainly because these complex structural components could potentially double the revenue generated per vehicle compared to traditional internal combustion models. Double!
However, as objective equity analysts, we have to weigh the bull versus bear arguments here. On the risk side, we absolutely must acknowledge the severe concentration cost. They have an over 90% dependency on a single client, Maruti Suzuki. Plus, margins are always going to remain sensitive to steel price volatility, and the OEM's bargaining power naturally limits cost pass-throughs. Additionally, their current premium valuation leaves absolutely zero room for execution errors during the Kharkhoda Phase 2 rollout, especially when you factor in some short-term governance uncertainty following the late May 2026 management shifts. Which leaves us with the definitive question moving forward. Will JBML's localized execution moat and EV content multipliers actually outweigh the severe client concentration risks during this critical Phase 2 scaling period? The data definitely points to a massive structural transformation, but the margin of error at these valuations remains incredibly tight. It's up to you to independently weigh these data points against the realities of the broader automotive sector